physical mode. We walk down the aisles, we walk down the corridors and enter our department. To get that virtual feeling, this is basically what I do. And that is how I want to welcome you all. That, say, for example, had it been a physical mode, then you would have stayed in our guest houses or other accommodations nearby, and you would have walked down the university passages and this to come down to the auditorium every morning. So just with that feeling, I play this video. So I welcome you all to the third day of this Atal Academy sponsored 5 days online FDP on emerging financial issues, financial management and accounting techniques. Today we have with us, or rather I would say we have again with us, Dr. Susmita Bandyopadhyay, who is an assistant professor in our department in systems and operations. Yesterday we had a very engrossing session from Susmita Di, as I call him, or rather as we call her in the department. I don't think we need to introduce you, because I'm sure none of you suffer from short-term memory loss. So we know that she is a very learned scholar, and she is a prolific researcher, reviewer. So without not going into those details, those formalities, I welcome Susmita Di. Dr. Bandyopadhyay, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Mukherjee. Thank you for this beautiful start in the morning. I welcome you all. Very good morning to everybody. Today, as I told you, I'm going to share the screen first, and I'm going to discuss the other aspects of MCDA techniques. And as I told you, someone requested that I should give you the glimpse of the calculations, the particular calculation which identifies each technique uniquely. So I will do. I will cover that. First, I will just introduce the other aspects, and after that, I will give example how to experiment with a particular MCDA. It will be a sort of case study. I will show one application on financial data, and then I will give an introduction to the experimentation with an entire paper, with an entire MCDA technique, how to proceed, how to, I mean, if you propose something, some modification, or if you want to do anything with the MCDA techniques in your paper, of course, you will have to adjust that MCDA technique to your financial data, how you will do that, and how you will proceed, what are the steps that I will show you through Excel sheet calculation. That will be better rather than the theoretical verbal communication. The practical thing is always better to understand. So I'm going to start with the station by the other aspects, as I said. So I'm going to share my screen. So everybody, is it visible? Is it visible? Is my screen visible?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay, okay. Then I should start. I will send the PPT today for your convenience. Most probably I have already sent yesterday, but I will resend it today to the coordinator's email ID. So today I will first start with other aspects of MCDA technique, other aspect actually, and aspects you can say. I will also show a bit of sensitivity analysis, and then application on some financial data that I have gathered from some published paper. So that would be better for you to understand. I have just changed a little bit of data there. I'm not going to share that particular Excel file. I cannot share the Excel files for you because it will be difficult for me, because some of the parts are not yet published. So I cannot share those data, but I can share the already published data. That Excel I can send to you. That is possible. Okay, so as I told you yesterday that we can also calculate the weights of the criteria by both subjective and objective methods. I have also told you that subjective methods are based on the randomness in the decision making of the decision makers. Decision makers just give the preference based on their own experience and choice, and that's why we'll have to depend on the decision maker's decision, which may not be dependable, which may not include all the factors to consider, and that's why it is not so reliable, but it is very effective sometimes. That's why subjective method still exists, because it is very effective sometimes. If the decision maker is sufficiently experienced, then the subjective method can be even more effective than the objective methods. So that's why we consider both, actually. That's why in MCDA technique, both subjective and objective methods are considered. It depends on the practical case, practical scenario. If the particular company says that we want to emphasize a particular criterion or particular set of criteria, then there is a management decision. Then you apply subjective method. Otherwise, you can apply objective methods, which are basically fixed mathematical theoretical methods based on some MCDA techniques. These are basically MCDA techniques. There are some techniques, like the MCDA techniques, which ranks the alternatives. The number of MCDA techniques calculating the weights of the criteria are limited in number. Some of these objective methods I have mentioned here. These are very popular in terms of the fact that these have been used and applied, some of the researchers in the existing literature. So that's why I'm going to introduce these three techniques. I'll first give a brief glimpse of IDEOCREW, critique, and silos. IDEOCREW only, and these three, IDEOCREW, critique, and silos, will be explained through Excel sheet. Because rather than showing the mathematical expression, I thought that it would be better if I show the calculations hands-on. Besides, there are MW, there are Chemira, and several 10 to 12 methods are there to calculate the weights of the criteria. I'm going to accumulate those methods next, but not yet. I have identified some of the techniques. An example of subjective methods. I've just copied from my own paper's calculation, the old already published paper. It was some conference paper, actually, some IEEE conference paper. So from there, I have just got the Excel sheet part. I've got in picture format and pasted here. It is my own calculation. It's randomly. Say, for example, I had shown you the previous example yesterday of Amazon Books. The library who is sorting the books and ranking the books, taking data from Amazon.com. So there were three criteria: Amazon price, number of pages, and rating. And there were 20 alternatives. So this Amazon price, some decision makers, we have chosen, for example, three decision makers. The first decision makers gives the highest weightage to the number of pages. To those decision makers who wants to maximize the number of readers, voracious readers, actually. Otherwise, if the readers are not, very eager to read, voluminous books, the number of pages would not receive the highest ranking, highest weightage. Then the second decision maker again ranks the number of pages as 1, highest rank, followed by rating, followed by Amazon price. So rating is preferred next to number of pages. So price is least important, but minimize price. Okay, okay. So it actually the explanation has been wrong here. The second explanation would go to the third row. The second explanation is to the DM, to the decision maker who gives more stress on readers, more stress on readers' psychology, and that's why the rating gets number 2. And for the third rating, for the third preference values 1, 3, 2, the Amazon price gets the highest preference. So the second comment that I have written is applicable to the third row actually, to decision maker who wants to minimize the price because of low budget. That's why Amazon price, the price of the book gets the first preference, followed by rating, followed by number of pages. So now, I mean, this can be summarized in different ways. Here, what we have done, I have just taken the average of each row and then normalized. As I have told you, the total is 6, as you see here. So 2 divided by 6 and 1.67 divided by 6, then 2.33 divided by 6. So we get these rankings, 0.39, 0.28, 0.33 that we had seen in the Excel sheet there. Since it was a conference paper, so I didn't give much emphasis on subjective method and I didn't ask any decision maker. I just gave random number here because it's a hypothetical example just to show my idea. But it doesn't happen in case of journal. It will not happen because they need, you know, more reliable data, not so much random one. If it is applicable, if it is taken from the real life, then it would be better and acceptable, more acceptable in journals. But in conference, this could be done. So I had done this. It was accepted also because of the method. So this is how subjective method works. Now the objective methods. As I have already told you, that I will give a glimpse. I will not go to the details of these 3 methods: IDEO, CREO, critic, silos, chimera. But the first method will be discussed here. The main part of the first method will be discussed here. I will discuss it. The main part of the technique, IDEO CREO technique. You see the full form of IDEO CREO, it is the abbreviation actually. Integrated determination of objective criteria, which is the full form of abbreviation IDEO CREO. It actually, each of these technique has some characteristics. I mean, has some particular feature based on which, which is the purpose of the technique of calculating the weights of the criteria. For IDEO CREO, the basic purpose is to capture the information content. And for capturing the information content in any characteristics, you can say, or any field or any criterion, can be termed as entropy. Entropy calculation is a very interesting one. It can be calculated by probability. Probability is closely related to entropy calculations. It's a part of information theory in operations research. And it is very, very effective, very, very important calculation, important concept, not only in the field of operations research, but it is applied in information systems widely in practice. So entropy is a very important thing, the information content hidden in all the criteria, which is not generally considered while giving the random weightage by the decision maker in the subjective method. The critic, the another method I mentioned previously in the previous slide, is critic. critic actually what it does, it actually takes the relations among the criteria. It considers the relations among the criteria. There is another method called entropy itself. The name of the method is entropy itself. That also considers entropy and calculates entropy in a different way. There is another method that I have mentioned in the previous slide called silos. Silos, what it does, the purpose of silos is to catch the loss. I mean, to consider the loss that occurs, I mean, loss incurred because of not selecting a criteria as the best criteria, as the most preferred one. Not assigning, because of not assigning a criterion the highest weight, the loss occurred. The loss incurred is considered in silos technique. It is very, very important to consider the loss. Why? Because as you see in the previous slide, some decision maker may prefer rating as the highest criterion, highest rated, most preferred one. Some may emphasize, to some decision makers, the price may be the most important one. To some other decision makers, the number of pages may be the most important one. So, I don't know which are the decision makers. I mean, based on the, when you take the average, when you just give a particular criteria the highest weightage, we are neglecting the other facts. We are hiding something. Undoubtedly, we are compromising with the situation. And we are discarding that some of the decision makers may demand a different criterion as the highest rated criterion. That fact is being discarded when we are calculating the weights in this objective method. That's why the purpose of silos is to consider that aspect of calculation of weights of the criteria. So I am first in this way. MW is another method. CW is another method, criteria weight, but that takes a different aspect. There is some other method, weight calculation method, that considers some other other aspect, and relations among the criteria which is considered by critic. uh, Although it is calculated, relation is determined, as we have seen in HP, in ANP, relation had been determined by calculation of data on the basis of some data given. But the relation can also be calculated by using the formulas. I have done it actually. The criteria with help of some data, the criteria can have relations. Like we can have the correlations among them. We can have we can feed the regression data. We can first find the correlation among them, among the criteria, and then we can feed a regression equation to find the relation among the criteria. The regression should be non-linear in nature, because the relation may or may not be linear or non-linear. If it is linear, then non-linear setting will not work. It will automatically be reduced to linear one. And if it is non-linear, then it has the advantage of setting the non-linear regression. In this way also you can establish the relation among the criteria. So there are varieties of ways to establish the relation among the criteria and to calculate the weights, what I did before. But the paper has not yet been published. Actually, due to some other surrounding circumstance, research was halted. And so maybe in future I may proceed further towards that particular research work. However, for this IdeoCrew, what we do at first, we get the normalized decision matrix, and I have said that yesterday that normalization can be done with the help of sum of each of the criteria, or the average of each of the criteria, or the maximum value or minimum value, or some other expression set by the decision maker. So this normalized value of the decision matrix is the input, and Here, IdeaCrew applies the first one. That is, we calculate the sum of each of the criteria, which we did in case of TOPSIS, and divide each of the elements by the sum of that criteria. Now, we calculate the entropy. Entropy for each of the criterion. J stands for criterion number J. So, for each of the criterion J, we calculate entropy J equals to, the expression is minus 1 by ln n. Ln means log base E actually. That is called logarithm base E of n, summation Aij, the normalized value, sum of normalized values of Aij for each of the criteria. You are normalizing and summing up each of the columns, and that sum of each of the columns is represented by summation Aij bar into log Aij bar. So, Aij bar into log Aij bar is first multiplied, calculated, and then sum is taken over that, and that is divided by log n base E. And then the deviation of entropy is calculated by from the ideal. Deviation from the ideal. All these entropy of the criteria will be in fractional format, but the ideal entropy will be 1. 1 means full information is available. So that's why we are calculating deviation by subtracting the entropy from 1. So this is the deviation for each criteria. Deviation suffix j equals to 1 minus entropy j. That means for jth criteria, we are calculating the deviation by subtracting entropy from ideal value 1. Then the entropy weights, not the criteria weights. The entropy weights are calculated by dividing the deviation by the sum of deviation, kind of normalization you can say. Now the cost criteria are converted to benefit criteria. You may have come across the transportation problem in operations research. There, if you get a profit matrix instead of the cost matrix, what you do, you find the highest value in the entire matrix and subtract all the values from that maximum value to convert it to the cost matrix. Convert the profit matrix to cost matrix. The same philosophy, the similar, not same actually, we're not subtracting, we're taking the division. Now, subtraction and division are closely related. So instead of subtraction, we are taking the philosophy, strategy of this division. So dividing the minimum of a particular criterion by each element of that criteria to convert the cost type of criteria to the benefit type of criteria. Now a square matrix is formed. Square matrix is a little different, which I will show you later. Now what I have, okay, so first of all I should show this particular Excel sheet. So you see, this was the original data actually. Original data were collected by one of my students, and this paper is not yet published. It will be, the work is going on for him because I have not been able to help him till now. So these are the calculation will be done by him, but I am helping to some extent. So these are the data. A total of 86 different data have been taken. Here also these 86 data are actually a little bit changed and summarized, and some of the criteria had been deducted, excluded from the data. And here you see it is taken from the practical life. My student has taken it, gathered this data. So I thought that this can be helpful to understand, helpful for you. Okay, so age, number of family members, number of dependent, number of income earners in the family. Actually, this is a kind of data to help determining which of the insurances a particular candidate or a particular customer wants to opt for. That is the purpose. Okay, so these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 different criteria. Age, number of family members, number of dependents, number of income earners in the family, years of work experience, assets, minimum expenses, minimum savings, minimum income, health expenditure, expenditure on foods and beverages, and educational expenses. So as you see, I have written here, identified here for my own convenience actually, for calculation convenience. C1, C2, C3, C5, C7, C10, C11, and C12. In this way, age is C1, number of family members is C2, likewise, educational experience is C12. So these are the cost type of criteria. And C4, C6, which one is C4? Yes, number of income earners in the family, of course, it will have to be maximized. C4 and C6, asset has to be maximized. Of course, the purpose will be to purpose to the individual decision maker will be to maximize assets, and obviously, and then minimum savings. Also, the person will want to maximize the saving, and then income. Income will also be the benefit type of criteria which we want to maximize. So C4, C6, C8, C9 are the benefit type of criteria. And these are the data given. Some of the data were not present, and that's why I have given 0 here. And some of the rows were empty. Some respondents didn't fill up the vital data, so those were discarded. So this is the raw data. Now on this raw data, I am going to apply IDEO-CREW method to determine the weightage of these 12 criteria. How to do that? First of all, I have calculated the total of each of these criteria and then normalized. As I had already told you in my PPT slide, that normalization is done in the same way as we did in CLOPSYS. Each of the elements here, for example, for the first one, we are dividing 31 by the total 0.3796. 31 divided by 3796 equals to 0.008166. So in this way, each of these values are calculated, normalized values are calculated to get rid of the influence of the units of measure for each criteria. So we get the normalized matrix, normalized decision matrix. As you see, I have written for my own convenience. Now we will have to calculate that particular logarithm, which I indicated. I mean, this was the thing that we want to calculate. Entropy J equals to 1 minus ln log n summation Aij, normalized Aij, into ln normalized Aij. So we'll have to first calculate this one, log Aij bar base E, that is log of normalized value base E. There is a function, ln function. So you see here, ln of E93. Similarly, it is ln of B91. You see, B91 is this. This is B91. As you see here, this is B91. So I have just calculated a logarithm of B91 base E. This is the formula. In the formula bar, the formula is written. Now with these values, we will have to multiply these normalized values. That means for the first one of the next table, the first multiplication of the C11 first row and first column, the calculation will be B91, this one, into this B181. That's why what we are going to calculate, B91 into B181. That's what we are going to calculate here in the next matrix. As you see here, B91 into B181 in the formula bar. So that's how we were getting this one, the inner summation, inside the summation, the expressions are being calculated. So that's why, that's how we are going to calculate. I mean, we are calculating, getting this matrix. Now what we will have to do, we'll have to take the sum of each column. So now we are going to take the sum of each column. That is the purpose of that particular expression, that we will have to find the sum. Logarithm is in the heart of entropy calculation. Say for example, why we are calculating, we are getting the logarithm. Say for example, here it is, the base is E. E means what? It can be the base 2. Say for example, you are going to a particular interview, the result is 2, any of the two. Either you pass the interview or you fail there. Either you be successful or unsuccessful. There are two results. Any of these two results will happen. So the base will be 2. If the results are 3, the base will be 3. So in this way, we decide the base in case of entropy. Now the base E is selected then when we do not know what will be the results. Then we select E. So here, that's why we are selecting E as a base. So we have calculated the summation of Aij bar into log Aij bar. This is the summation of that, and then degree of entropy. Degree of entropy we had seen. The entropy will be obtained by dividing this sum by logarithm of n. N is the number of, you see, n had been calculated somewhere. Let me see where I have calculated. O62, O268. O268 means here. Yes, O268. You see, ln 12. 12 is the number of criteria. Total number of criteria is 12, and ln 12. As we have seen, we will have to divide the sum by ln of n. N is the number of criteria. So here the number of criteria is 12. So we are calculating ln 12. The result is 2.484907, whatever. So we are dividing these results by that ln of n, log of n. So we are dividing, as you see in the formula bar, and this is the degree of entropy. And we are then calculating directly entropy weight. Entropy weight, actually it is the deviation. It is actually the deviation. I have written entropy weight, but it is actually the deviation, and then normalized deviation. It is actually the entropy weight. Normalized deviation and is entropy weight, as I said in the previous slide, it is actually kind of normalization. So that's what we have done. We have taken the sum here. Sum is given of the deviations, and we are dividing each of these values by this total to get this normalized entropy weight. It is a kind of normalization, no? So that's why the normalization word has been used by me. I have used. So this is how you calculate IDEOCREW, a part of IDEOCREW. I mean, you will not have to, if you want to apply only IDEOCREW, then you will have to calculate the entire, apply the entire algorithm, or you can alternatively, actually what I have done here, I have combined 3 algorithms together. I have considered IDEOCREW, that is the entropy. I have considered relation among the criteria, that is, I have to calculate this weights by the respective values from the critic method, and then I had to consider the loss incurred due to not choosing a particular criterion as the best criterion. So I had to apply silos too. For those purposes, so I have calculated up to that part which is required. So I have calculated up to entropy weight because I needed the entropy. And after that, what we do, you will see in critic, the remaining part is same as critic. That's why I'm not showing it here. I will show in critic. The next my method to show is critic. Do you have any question till now? If you have any question, please ask. Okay, then I'm proceeding to critic. Am I audible?
Yes, Professor, you are audible, very much audible. Yeah.
Okay, okay. The next method I'm covering is silos. In silos also I'm taking this original matrix, and then here we calculate the minimum and maximum values for each of these criterion. As you see here, I have calculated minimum and maximum by applying Excel formula, simple Excel formula. And then what we did, we have calculated this expression B2, that is the original matrix B2, we are normalizing it actually. Normalization is done in the same way as I had shown in case of the other method like Macbeth and Mount. In Mount I had shown this method. So B2 minus B89, that is B2, that each of these values in the decision matrix minus the minimum of that particular criterion divided by each of these values minus the maximum divided by minimum minus maximum. The minus sign will automatically go away. So we will get these values. So these are the values we are getting. Next, what we are doing, we are actually, I have now I am taking the average. We are getting the normalized matrix, then we are getting the average. Okay. So what we are doing, just a minute. Now B93 minus $B $179. $B $179 means average of these each normalized matrix columns. And what is B93? B93 is, let us see what is B93. B93 is these normalized values. So each of these normalized values are then used, normalized values minus average value. So the deviation, short of deviation from the average is being calculated. So that's why I'm not showing by showing the formula, because it's a little bit complex. I myself cannot remember so many methods. So that's why I thought that Excel sheet would be better to understand. So B3 minus this average of normalized each column is this result. This matrix is obtained, and then what we are doing, we are now calculating what is 183, B183. This is B183. B183 minus C183 divided by P183. What is P183? P183 is this. Now we are again considering another thing, P193, which is actually the weighted matrix. The weighted matrix is here, and weighted matrix square root of weighted matrix is separately being calculated. So here is the square root of weighted matrix. So what we are doing, P93 square root, that is the previous weighted matrix square root is being calculated, and we are getting this matrix. And this is, remember, the value is P183. So now next what we are doing, we are actually calculating the deviations actually from B183, that is the previous matrix, minus C183, that is the deviation from each of these other criteria, divided by the deviations calculated here from each of these other criteria. That is from C1, how the other criteria is deviated in terms of the square root, that is dividing the deviation, which deviation, how each criteria is actually deviating from the other criteria. So this is what Silos is, critic is doing. In this way, it is comparing, calculating the relationships among the criteria. So we are getting these matrices by this calculation. I will, if you want, I can send the mathematical formula as well. So this is a kind of correlation coefficient we are saying. The method is saying this is a kind of correlation coefficient. Now, we are simply, the way we had calculated the deviation, 1 minus the ideal value, 1 minus 1 is the ideal value minus the actual value. So that's why we are calculating this 1 minus B272 means the previous matrix, this matrix. This is B272. So 1 minus this is getting this matrix, giving this matrix. This is a little bit complex. It may be very confusing to you, but if you once apply in your own research paper in practice, it will become, you will become habituated. Once you calculate in one Excel sheet, it will stay with you forever. And even if you forget, you can consult this Excel sheet to go to the other method. Now we are calculating the average as usual and then calculating the index. Index means P181, the previous one. Here P181 was this matrix. As you recall, you may recall, this is P181. This was the square root. This was the total divided by 12 minus 1, number of criteria minus 1, and the square root of that. Square root of that is this, 181, P181. So that's what we are doing, 1 minus B72. After doing that, we are calculating the index. How P181 into these matrices, into these elements. Okay, so these elements means these averages. So P181, that one, the square root 1 into these values. So we are getting the kind of index which is actually the relations, aggregate relations among the criteria. Now we are calculating the weights. How do we calculate the weights? B449, that is the index, divided by N449, that is the total of the index. That is a kind of normalized values of the indexes. That's giving the weightage of the criteria under critic. Next is silos. Critic is a little bit complex. If you do not understand, then if you cannot recall, because it will be very difficult in one class within very short period of time to recall everything. It is not possible for me even. That's why I am observing this Excel sheet which I have done, and then I am explaining. Because you know, if such a complex thing is explained by giving the formulas, it will be difficult for you to follow. Rather, if I give some Excel sheet, it may be advantageous to you. I can, without the data, I can give you this critic calculation sheet only in the form of just the values. I mean, not the formulas, you know, I cannot give the formulas, but just the values can be given. Now, next is silos. The next method to calculate the weightage of the criteria, silos. So as I told you, silos considered the loss incurred due to not selecting a particular criterion as the best one. So here also what we do, we are taking the original matrix. In silos, the things are a little bit similar with IdeoCrew. In IdeoCrew, what I did after calculating the entropy weight, I left it here and I told you the remaining part is same as silos. Now I will show you why. So first we are calculating average as usual instead of total, and we are normalizing. The normalization is done in a different way. Instead of dividing each element by average, what we are doing here, we are dividing the average by B2, by each element. So the values will be a little bit higher, obviously. Now the maximum value is being calculated for each of these criteria. Now these maximum values, from these maximum values, the square matrix among the criteria are made. How the square matrix is made? These maximum values are taken in the main diagonals. See, observe, the first maximum is 2.10188. This is the first element of the main diagonal. This is the main diagonal. The second value, second maximum is 3.84884. That is the second diagonal element. The third maximum is 1.9186. That is the third diagonal element. In this way, fourth diagonal element is the fourth maximum, fifth diagonal element is the fifth maximum. In this way, we are fixing the diagonal values. How the other values are taken? Other values are taken in this way. Say, for example, this 2.10188, we'll have to search which row is this. From which row this maximum value has been taken. 2.10188, let's see which one. 2.10188, this one. You see, the row is for alternative number 43. The remaining elements will be copied and will be pasted as the remaining element of these square matrix. Similarly, for other rows also same thing will be done. This is the maximum value 3.84884 for the second criteria, and we are putting the diagonal here. This is the second diagonal element naturally. So the remaining elements in the same row will be the same element where this particular maximum lies. So let's see 3.84884. Where is it? 3.84884. Somewhere it was present. Yes, 3.84884. So the remaining values is this and these values. Of course, we will not take 3.84884 because it is already present in the diagonal. So we'll take the remaining elements and we'll copy as the other elements in the square matrix. So this is the row. Same way, the other elements will be filled up. Other elements of this square matrix will be filled up. From this square matrix, we will calculate this loss matrix. Loss matrix, how it is calculated? We are taking this B78. Where is B78? B78 is this maximum values. Maximum values are B78. So we are dividing by B78. Which one is being divided? This we are subtracting each value from this maximum value. So we are subtracting for the first one, what we are doing, 2.10188, the maximum value of B criteria, criteria 1, minus the first value, that is 2.10183 divided by 2.10188. So maximum divided by element, maximum minus element divided by maximum. That is, compared to maximum, how the other values have been deviated. Relative deviation has been calculated and this is called the loss matrix. The loss incurred due to not choosing a criteria as the base criteria. This is the method as followed in silos. Now what we can do, we can find the average or median or mean. I do not prefer to calculate mean because mean is biased always. As we all know that mean is a biased technique because it mean always deviates towards the extremes. And that's why instead of mean, although the book says that calculate mean or average or take the eigenvalues, but I took the median. But instead of median, you can calculate the means. So I have taken median because median is the ideal mean actually. A mean is easier to calculate, but median is best average. So I have calculated median here. Instead of median, you can calculate mean. So this is the weight. This is the weight of the criteria from C1 to C12. The 12 numbers are the 12 weights of this criteria. Now, after getting the weights from all these techniques, you can accumulate in any way you want. If you want to give more emphasis on IdeoCrew, then Silos, then Critic, you can give weightage to these values. I have not given any weightage. I have simply multiplied these weights and aggregate weight I have calculated, then I have normalized the weights to get the weights of the criteria, final weights of the criteria. But it is not required. In one paper, you can apply only in one idea, you can only apply IdeoCrew, only apply Critic, or only apply Silos, or you can combine several methods. Here, no combination has been done till now in the existing literature. So I was just trying. I was just experimenting, playing with the data. And after calculating the weights, the other calculations can be done. Here, the other calculations done was Topsys calculation. Then what we have done, the association among the ranks have been calculated. Like before, I have applied Spearman's rank correlation, or I would consider the other correlations as well. So this is how you calculate the weights of the criteria. The next one is the application on financial data. What is the time? Let me see the time because I'll have to cover it within almost 16 minutes. But already I have covered the main part. So there is no problem in covering in almost 20 minutes actually. A little more than 20 minutes, no problem. So financial decision of an organization are usually included in the context of optimization. It's a kind of optimization problems you solve in financial decisions. So concerning a long-term period, there are decisions related to the optimal allocation of funds. Now you see, there are different decisions are taken where we can apply MCDA techniques, like the optimization of stocks, cash, accounts receivable, current liabilities, etc. Okay, so here what I am doing, I am explaining So as you see, this is one data of financial data taken from some already published paper. I have just changed some of the data. I will not use it. I have just prepared it for you only. It's not will never be the part of my any of my paper because all my paper ideas are unique and the data are unique. Just for this class, I have prepared this Excel sheet. So that particular paper considered 10 different projects and ongoing projects and new portfolios. As you see, the expected value of ongoing projects and new portfolios are given here. From this one, we can usually see that the project number 1 is dominating over others because the NPV is the highest. We are all, coming from the management background. So financial management one paper was always there. One or two papers, I can't remember. Maybe two papers. The funds flow, cash flow, and all those things I have also done, but I have forgotten somehow. But these values, this value automatically obviously shows that project 1 dominates over others, whereas project 10 is dominated by others. because it's less preferred in terms of NPV. In terms of value at risk also, this is very low, not the lowest. For project 1, it is low, but not the lowest. But project 10, it is a little bit higher. The most risky one, value at risk, is value at risk with risk is for project 2. Then return on investment, as you can see here, it is given in percentage. Contribution of new portfolios, if you it's actually a application on portfolio management, and it is giving in terms of NPV, value at risk, and investment return on investment, ROI. So this is the contribution of new portfolios. As a result of new portfolios, these are the NPV increases, NPV change, rather I should say. Some has been increased, some has decreased. So now from these data, we are calculating the return, risk, and efficiency. These are not calculated in the paper, but the formula is given that the new minus old one divided by old one. That is, these values are calculated in this way: E3 minus B3 divided by B3. That is, this one minus this one divided by this B3, the old one. That's how these values are calculated. And the same way the risk is calculated and efficiency is also calculated in the same way. Now we want to maximize return and efficiency, obviously, and risk we want to minimize. So risk is cost type of criteria, and benefit is return and efficiency is benefit type of criteria. Now what we're doing, we're actually what this paper had done, I have done it in a different way. This paper has taken 3 different sets of weights. The weights are a little different. I have taken these weights: 0.7, 0.2, 0.1. First of all, in the first set of weights, return has been given highest preference, then risk, then followed by efficiency. And from these, with these sets of weights, we have 3 sets of calculations by Topsys. I have applied Topsys. That paper had applied 2 different methods. So here I am differing from that paper. So with 0.6, 0.7, 0.2, 0.1, I have we are applying this Topsys over these projects to rank the projects, and we are getting the rank. I'm not depicting the method of Topsys because I have already done it yesterday. So we are getting this rank. Next, with the next set of weights, 0.1, 0.7, 0.2, we are getting this rank. This is the next one. We are considering these weights, 0.1, 0.7, 0.2, and we are getting this another set of rank. And then we are trying for another set of weights, 0.2, 0.7, 0.2, 0.1, 0.7, and we are getting, by applying the same method Topsys, we are getting this rank. A summary of the ranks are given: first set, second set, third set. In this way, I have summarized these ranks. Now we are actually, the paper said that identify that project which is number 1 by most of the sets of weights. Here you see rank number 1 is given to project number 10. Rank number 1 is given to project number 10. The 10th project is getting rank number 1 by 2 sets of weights. So that paper said that that means the project 10 is the highest rated, highest preferred project which we must take. Okay. Now this can also be done in MCDA way. This can be done in another way as you can think of. So usual way I have tried for, that is, we are establishing the association by Spearman's rank correlation and then getting the association, and the highest association we see between the first and second. But this method is better. But as I had told you, I have proposed another method, and that method is already recognized. There is a way to identify which technique, which of these MCDA techniques is much better then are the most appropriate technique for the problem under study. That we do with our my proposed method. Someone said that please show the calculation on the next day, so I am going to show that calculation now. I'm sharing the screen, so I can easily take it from there. It's already 11:01, so I'm going a little fast. So I proposed a method, I mean another MCDA method. I'm not going to show that method. So this is the final ranking. I have taken 11 alternatives and the final ranking is this. In the descending order, I have taken this rank. This rank is being taken. So these are the alternatives. These are the final values of my calculation. I have proposed this method. It is under review actually. So I cannot give you this data because it's still not published. I had submitted it some months before. So these are the ranks determined by proposing my method, by applying my method. Now see what I have done next. I have rated, I have applied the same case study. I have applied different methods of MCDA methods on the same case study. So I have applied TOPSIS, Promethi, ANP, AHP, Mout, Macbeth, Mura, Copress. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different techniques, MCDA techniques to get these rankings. Next, I have applied. I'm showing. I told you how to develop a paper with MCDA and how to propose. If you apply the data MCDA technique in financial data, maybe you will have to shape the data and then you can apply the MCDA technique. And then since you are shaping the data, you are modifying the MCDA technique as well. Then you will have to go through some robustness or sensitivity analysis or some of the comparisons so as to establish your modification is better, or to check whether your modification is better or not rather. So I have summarized the proposed ranking, the original ranking, which is the proposed one, followed by the ranking by the other already existing methods. And then I have established Spearman rank correlation. I have done to establish that whether this is giving the positive values. And I see that some are positive and some are negative values. That means the association are sometimes associated. I mean, sometimes the original ranking, the proposed rankings are associated with some of the methods and not associated with some other methods. It is observed that the proposed method is associated with the methods which have pairwise comparison, which have performed pairwise comparison to find the relationships among the alternatives and among the criteria, mainly ANP, AHP especially. So then I have found the correlation. So original and then another correlation, normal correlation I have found out. Original with TOPSIS, original with Promethi, normal correlation. Normal correlation I have found it and got the same result. Now my proposed method, which somebody had requested me. See, this proposed method is being applied now. These are the normalized weighted values of the original decision matrix. Here the original values are not present. Normalized values are present. Normalized weighted values, I have taken these values. Now I am taking, for example, this proposed method, this ranking. So the rankings are 3, 2, 11, 1, 8, 5, 7, 10, 6, 4, 9. So these weights are being copied here. This is the original weight. And this was the price. This column was the price and got the highest ranking. I mean, got the highest weight. I calculated the weight by combining IdeaCrew, Critics, Silos, and Chemira. And I got the highest weight for price. This was a case study, and the price, there was 4 criteria, and price was one of them. This is price was representing the first column, and this price got the highest weightage. Okay, so price had got the highest weightage, and that's why with the price I will identify which method is the most appropriate method for my case study. So I'm copying these values. These values actually are much higher. Actually, I have copied it from the original data, original Excel sheet, and that's why a little bit different. So that's why it was 0.807 instead of 80836. No, 806 959 807. Acha. Okay, okay. So it was a little bit different, I see. Okay, okay, okay.
Ordering may be different.
Yeah. No. What I did, this is the original normalized matrix, and this is the weighted matrix actually. That's why the price is changing. That's why the values are changing. It may be a little bit same, or it may change because of the weights. It is taken from the weighted matrix. So the price is the highest one. So I have taken these values and then found the cumulative values. So 807, then 807 plus 959 equals to 1.766 plus 0.67 equals to 2.436 plus 0.836 equals to 3.272. In this way, we have calculated. See, the last results are matching. That means I have not committed any careless mistake. Obviously, I'm calculating Excel sheet. There is no question of committing careless mistake. So I'm doing the same for Topsys, for Prometheus, and for all the other methods. As you see, up to CoPress, I'm doing the same thing. And I have done it for the other criteria as well. I have done it for the second criteria, mileage. Actually, there were 10 cars which were a particular company was trying to, a small company was trying to purchase any 2 of those cars or any 3 of those cars. So mileage was the next one, price was the first one, then capacity, sitting capacity was the third one, and then torque was the fourth criteria. So for each of these criteria, I have taken these values and calculated the cumulative values for those criteria, for each of those criteria. Now, if price is the second weighted, I mean highest weighted criterion, then the third card, which technique is the best one to find that, I will have to compare the cumulative value of the third one. So the cumulative value of third cumulative value is 2.436 for the original matrix, I mean original proposed method, 2.236 for Topsys, 2.684 for Prometheus, 2.619 for ANP, and 2.5055, 2.442, 2.5055. So the highest one among these is 2.684, I guess. 2.664 is the highest cumulative price, which is for Prometheus. So if price is taken as the highest weighted criteria, then Prometheus would be the best method to be applied, the best ranking to be accepted for this particular case study. If mileage would be taken as the highest rated criteria, highest preferred criteria, then you compare the third value of this mileage values, cumulative values of mileage. In this way, you first identify the highest weighted criteria, and then you find the cumulative price for that criteria and compare the cumulative price, compare that cumulative price up to which you need the alternatives. Here any 3 cars will have to be chosen. I had said that 2 cars will be chosen, or anyway you can choose 3 cars or 4 cars, whatever. If you choose 3 cars, then third cumulative values would have been compared, would be compared among all the methods. If you take any 2 alternatives, the most preferred alternatives, then you compare the second cumulative values. In this way, we are comparing. Okay. Remember, these values are taken from the original to looking at the original alternative. Okay. Because the rankings are given here, so you may be misled. That's why I'm saying. So this is how you calculate. Own comparison is coming first, then sensitivity analysis. And an important thing is sensitivity analysis. When you are doing something, proposing some method or modifying some method for your application, you must change the values to check whether the ranking is robust or not, whether the ranking is changing significantly or not. So here what I have done, I have changed the weights. Here 60.61, 21, 17 and 009 was the weight. So that was the first one. And for the second one, what I have done, I have changed the weights. Let's see, let me see what is the weights. Yes, the weights were different. Here I have changed the weights to see what will be the ranks. I have got a different rank from this method. Next, third sensitivity analysis, what I have done, I have changed some of the values of the decision matrix. There's bold values are the changed values of the decision matrix. That's what I have done, and then again found the ranks. Now the summary of the ranks, analysis of the sensitivity analysis. What I have done, I have taken the ranks together, sensitivity analysis 1, sensitivity analysis 2, and sensitivity analysis 3. And this is the original ranks from the proposed matrix, proposed method. And now I am establishing, I am checking for this association. So I am checking for the association. As you see, the association is positive for these two sensitivity analysis when you are changing this weight to some extent, and for sensitivity analysis 3 when you are changing the matrix to some extent. Obviously, if you change it drastically, it will not match. There is a particular reason for this negative value that I explained. Although the values of coefficient rank correlation is not very high, so low association is there, but still it's positive. There is some positive association is there. And for the this is how you do. Then you can apply Kendall's tau and Pearson's correlation. Those are also giving the same kind of relation. In this way, you establish whether your proposed technique is robust or not. If the correlation as the correlation, the rank correlation gets higher for positive and higher value, your method is more and more robust. Your proposed method is more and more robust. Here my proposed method is robust to some extent because it is quite different from the other methods. It has considered all the essential characteristics of incident techniques, that is the relation among the alternatives, relation among criteria, then entropy, then relation between set of criteria and set of alternatives, and some more characteristics have been captured in that method. So a little bit of positive correlation would be enough for being for that particular proposed method to be reliable. So here I have just finished, come to the end of this session. It is 11:15. I had set the alarm so that I do not be late. So here it is. I have already finished everything. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you.
Madam, can you please go to the subjective weight selection that slide?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, madam. Now, this 0.333, how you have arrived? This is the 2 divided by this sum of the sum of this.
Yes, 2 divided by 6. You can do it in any other way.
Okay.
You can take the median, or you can take the average. There is no fixed recorded way. That's why these methods are called inexact methods, inexact optimization techniques, inexact methods. You can shape it in any way, but it must have some logic. You cannot shape it without any logic. You must have explanation for shaping the data. Yes. Any other question? If there is any other question, I'll be glad to answer any other, whatever is coming into your mind for your application, for your future understanding. If you have any question, then I am ready here to answer your question. I'll be glad to answer. Because, you know, I'm also learning from you. I will also learn from you. Okay.
Ma'am, please
Yes.
explain the steps of IdeoCrew.
Okay. IdeoCrew. One is you normalize, then find the entropy for each of these criterion by this relation. Then you find the deviation of each entropy. Then you find the entropy weight. It's a kind of normalization. Then you convert the cost criteria to benefit criteria, and you are getting a matrix. Now the remaining process is same as silos. That is, you are taking the weight matrix. After taking the benefit criteria, you will have to calculate, you will have to multiply this benefit type of, you will have to multiply each of these decision matrix, converted decision matrix with the weights. And so you have got weighted matrix, and then from there you will have to find out the maximum value of each of the criteria, as we did in case of silos. So you find the maximum value for each of these criteria, then from there you find the square matrix, as we did. In how we did the square matrix, let me go to that particular slide, a particular Excel sheet. Application, where did I do that? Yes. So in silos, what we did, we found the maximum value here after calculating, after multiplying the weights with the converted matrix. Entropy weight with the converted matrix, you multiply the weights, entropy weights with each of the values of the normalized matrix, converted matrix, and then you find the maximum values of each of these columns. Then you find the square matrix, then you find the loss matrix, and then find the median or mean or average. This one is your weights of the criteria.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Any other question? Yes, someone has raised a hand. Miss Reena, I see. If you have any question, you can ask.
Ma'am, I have already
Okay,
asked
okay.
my question.
Okay. So if you have any question, you can ask. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, we still have 10 minutes time in this session.
Yeah, yesterday, I didn't delay because I was very conscious.
No,
because
it's okay. It's a part of any program, and which we all who are experienced in this field know.
Yeah. When
And
you
I must
explain
appreciate
something,
the effort of of the resource persons, of most of the resource persons, that all our programs have been on time.
yeah.
So thank you, Dr.
And
Mukhopadhyay, for being on time.
today I had set the mobile, time had been set, I had given the countdown time and alarm. No, not countdown. That's just alarm.
That's very professional on your part.
Yes. Any other question from anybody? I must tell you, if you do not have any question, I must tell you, I will share the PPTs, but a limited part of Excel. The Excel sheet which have already been published, for which the paper has already been published, will be shared, but the Excel sheet which has not been published cannot be shared. I will share the PPT, of course. PPTs and some Excel sheets. Okay. The calculations of MCDA techniques can be shared. So that one I will share with you.
Okay, you share the relevant files with me. I will forward it. And till now,
Of course.
except the first session of which we are yet to receive the PPT, all presentation materials have been shared. And today morning, I
Yes.
received the material from Dr. Shikta Singh, who is scheduled to make her presentation today afternoon in the third session. I have also sent two materials to the participants. So we are at par with regard to that. So as you send me, we will be doing that. So I don't think the
Okay.
participants have any question at present. So
Yes.
I will be sharing your email ID with them when I send the materials, as I have been doing.
No
So-
problem.
So I think we can close this session, and the participants will have a break of close to 25 minutes. We are scheduled to start from 11:45. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Shushmita Bandyopadhyay. I
you.
would like to communicate to everybody that Dr. Bandyopadhyay has suffered a great loss during this COVID pandemic. She has lost her father. She has herself suffered from COVID, and her mother has also suffered in this from COVID. So with what should I say? I don't have words to express our grief towards you, Didi. So with all
Thank
these
you.
you have presented, you have represented the department. Thank you from the core of my heart. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything
Thank
that you
you.
have done and
Thank
put
you.
during
Welcome. Thank you.
this. So with
Thank you.
this,
It was a wonderful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
yeah, and with this few words, we are about to end this session. We will again be active in this same link from 11:40 a.m. Please rejoin, and we will start sharp at 11:45 as we have been. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.